Then, Ruthmery, can you tell us all about your fantastic Andean bears on the back of the Andes in Peru?
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for the invitation. Very happy to be here. I'm currently in the cloud forest, and today I'm going to tell you a bit about how we are using GPS and camera collars to document the hiding secret of the Andean bear. Andean bear is the only bear species that we have in South America, and it's a bear species which currently is vulnerable. So these Chris and Aiden both are Andean bears, same species, and using the same system. However, you can see how different are their strategies. So for a very long time, we've been tracking Andean bears using camera traps, SCAT. So we know where the bears are. However, we don't know in fine detail the behavior, know what they are doing on these landscapes. So our study site is in the eastern slope of the Andes at the entrance of Manu National Park in a valley called the Coxñipata. This valley is very incredible because you can see different habitat types in a very short distance that allow us to study how species are using the elevational gradients like the Andean bear and how they are responding to climate change. But at the same time, is one of the most challenging terrains. It's very steep. It's very cloudy most of the time. We are covered in fog, so even if we have the coordinate location of an individual, it's still very hard to see and to see what they are doing. No, so here the challenge is not the absence of the bear, but it's the invisibility of them. So what we are doing is we are using technology, and we are using GPS collar that are integrated with cameras. So this technology has three main things. One of them is they are taking hourly GPS location, so that will allow us to map the location of the bears. Then it has a HD camera, like a GoPro, that can allow us to have direct observation of the bears, and the 3-axial accelerometer data. So that part is very important because then we can synchronize the accelerometer data with the video clips, and we can have some inference of the behavior, not working on different models. So even if the collar doesn't have a camera, we can inference what the bear is doing across the time and across the years. So these collars we place for a years, and one of their challenges is still the battery. So when we put the camera collar, it only lasts between 3 to 4 months, and only taking a video clip of 15 seconds every hour. So, but even that, we got an incredible behavioral data. So this bear is Chris. We have Chris with 3 months with the collar. He was very wild. He used different habitat type across the elevational range. We record for first time cannibalism, potential infanticide, and also predation on arboreal monkeys like the woolly monkeys, behavior like feeding on soil, courtship, and on the tree canopy. For 10 events of mating, 8 of them were on the canopy. It was very incredible. And also feeding on different species of fruit, many things. So thanks to this technology, we're learning more about the secret life of the Andean bear. But also what the bears are teaching us, thanks to this technology, every bear is very different. While Chris was very wild on these 3 months, Adrian, this bear, spent the 3 months feeding on bamboo the whole time, and just the whole range was very small in a bamboo abundance forest. So again, it's showing how much variability exists between individuals within the same species, and that's something very important that we should take when we are doing conservation planning. So when we put together the 7 bears that we colored on the landscape, it's showing something very interesting. No, it's how they are using the landscape. No, they're teaching us. They don't know about administrative or management boundaries. These bears are using national park, community lands, different land use management areas. So it's how important it is to work in connectivity. But not only that, no, in average, these bears, adult bears are using about 150 kilometers square of land. This is still quite big for this type of landscape. But if we see the blue bear, Ruru, he's a young bear, you see he's using about 600 kilometers square in a year and a half. So it's more than the average, but those bears are actually the ones are helping to continue having the genetic diversity because they are mixing with other populations. And also the vertical connectivity. You put the data from the colors across the elevation. Now they're using about 2,000 meters of elevation, moving from the high Puna grassland to the foothill of the Andes, and moving seeds across this elevation. So again, when we are thinking about conservation planning, we also need to think about vertical connectivity. It's not enough to protect some elevational bands, but we need to have connectivity. And so technology is super important, but also the people on the field. We're still having some challenges testing these technologies on the field. I remember my first color didn't work. We waited 3 months and the camera just didn't work. And so I think it's how important between developer engineers to work with us as we are on the field, and how important still go to the field and do some ground truthing with all these footages and see why this bear is taking so long on this cluster. So I think only in this way we're going to have a real ecological data. Thank you.
Wow, thank you so much, Ruthmery. It's super great to see the variety of technology used to explore the life of bears out there. Are there any questions for Ruthmery before we take a little break in between these super nice talks from our three speakers and the long term from Emily? I'm checking the chat. Some people are talking about the colors, super cool data. Prablu, you have a question. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Do you want to ask it live, or do you want me to take it? I guess then, Ruthmery, I will ask the question from Prablu. Prablu, sorry. How would wearable antennas help? So I'm not sure if it's related to the channel. It's related to the question. So is there any antennas that you could put on the collar or on the bear to have more data or something?
So this collar already has an antenna, has the GPS antenna, the VHS, and also the accelerometer data. So the problem here is sometimes we lose data because the mountains have like barriers. So sometimes we lose the bear for a week, 2 weeks, even a month. So we don't know what's going on with them. But once they are in an open area, in the Puna grassland, all the data start uploading. But even thus, on these areas where it was a big barrier, we don't have any geolocation data.
Cool. Thank you. There is another question related to colors that is coming from Scott. Scott is asking, what type of reliability issues did you run into with colors? So is there what were the other problem maybe after the terrain? Were there any other problem you found on your first color? Especially you mentioned something.
I think the first color was the humidity, I guess. The camera, because we test here on the lab that the camera was working, was taking videos. Then we placed the color on the bear, and yes, the camera just didn't turn on. So it must be another technological issues behind them. But then we speak again with the developers, and they fix the errors. And the second time the camera works, but in the third bear, the same thing. The camera works only for 2 months and a half, and then it stopped working. So I think it's humidity issue is still a big problem on them. No, the same happened also with the drop-off mechanism. No, the good thing is now these colors have multiple ways to drop off. No, including when you previously program. Also, you can send a remote command, or none of them works. You have the other mechanism with VHS, no, to drop, and that's what's in our case. No, the two things didn't work, so the last thing worked to drop off the color.
Sure. Yeah. Well, highlighting the importance to communicate with the developers, but also the one on the ground. You have other question in the chat with Mary that I invite you to answer. It's coming from Martin, I think from East Africa.